I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Child's Play, a terrifying new movie.
But it was scary. I have never screamed so loud in my entire life.
Tell me better.
Whoa.
He kept saying it was only a movie.
You watched the whole movie like this.
Child's Play,
Just when you thought you were safe, boom.
rated R. Starts Wednesday, November 9th at a theater near you.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a Patreon request for Jacob, who, because of the Patreon, he asked for a review and for a commentary on the 1988 film Child's Play. Now, I just got done recording the commentary. Should be uploaded by the time this is uploaded. Now, I have reviewed the Child's Play films in the past. They're all up on the channel. But I've said before, and I'll say again, if anyone's ever interested in sending requests either directly via my PayPal or to be part of my Patreon, it'd be pretty much any type of video, whether it be a review or a movie topic or whatever, or even a re-review. I'm perfectly fine with re-reviewing a movie. I'm perfectly fine with it. So again, I'm pretty open. But watching Child's Play again from 1988 still holds up. Still a great movie. Part of me goes, what could I say that hasn't been already said about Child's Play? Don Mancini, the original idea of Blood Buddy, where the corporation would make these dolls that would actually bleed, and you had to go buy bandages, and then this little kid and gets a buddy doll and then like cuts his finger, and Blood Brothers. But then Chucky kind of acts out Andy's rage and gets back at the people Andy's mad at, and something that Kevin S. Tenney kind of tried to do in this film called Pinocchio's Revenge that someone also requested commentary on, which I'll upload either before or after this video. Maybe after this video. But this is much better. And with killer doll films, there's not a lot of killer doll films I would say is that great. I mean, I love Child's Play 2, really like Child's Play 3 as well. Again, I reviewed all the Child's Play films. I'm not a fan of Curse or Cult or Seed or even Bride of Chucky. If you want to know why, the reviews are on the channel. I liked the Child's Play reboot. If you want to know why, again, check back on my review. It's on the channel. But if I ranked them, I would say 2 might be my favorite. I really like the Toy Factory finale. I thought the animatronics were even more impressive, although I do think the ones in this are fairly good for the time. Granted, this have a bit more to the characters, like Catherine Hicks and Chris Sarandon. But I don't know, Child's Play 2 with the humor and something about that always stuck with me a little bit more, but this is still a great one. So it'd be like 2, 1, maybe the reboot, and then 3. And then those are the only ones I like. Fuck the other ones. And fuck Don Mancini, fucking Fettuccine, who wants to take credit for everything as if Tom Holland didn't do a fucking thing. which I think he did, or John Lafia, may he rest in peace, the guy who directed Child's Play 2 and sadly died, and he had a hand in writing some of these movies. John Lafia, for what I understand, died from suicide, which is sad. But he directed Child's Play 2, which I enjoyed. Rest in peace to him. John Lafia. And Don Mancini, you wrote and directed the 3 worst piece of shit ones. Seed of Chucky, Curse of Chucky, and Cult of Chucky. I hate those fucking films. If you want to know why, again, feel free to check back on the channel. Check out the reviews. But this one, I thought it did a good job establishing his characters. Alex Vincent as Andy Barclay is very likable as a kid, trying to make his mom food, even though it's his own birthday. Grab maybe a little bit to, hey, can I get some presents? But very innocent kid, very nice kid, well done. There's many other child actors that do a horrible job, but there are some, including here, that are fairly solid. Like when he's scared that Chucky's going to kill him and he's crying, but they did it where it's not annoying or irritating or whiny. Just that can be done, sadly. Tom Holland, Fright Night, one of my favorite vampire films ever. He wrote Psycho 2, which I reviewed all the Psycho films for those interested. And Psycho 2 is my favorite, and Tom Holland wrote it. Fatal Beauty, which one day I would like to review that. I like Fatal Beauty with Whoopi Goldberg, Sam Elliott, and Brad Dourif, who then, of course, became the voice of Chucky. Brad Dourif, wonderful actor. He's perfect as Chucky. He's got intensity, but he also let that cursing and dialogue fly with a sense of humor, but yet intense. And yet to be kind of funny as well, on purpose. And I know at one point they were going to not have Brad Dourif voice Chucky, which I'm like, okay, you hire him for the human role, but why would you not have him as the voice? To me, that was stupid, whoever. But thankfully, someone grew a brain and said, no, let Brad Dourif voice fucking Chucky. And Brad Dourif, he was in Exorcist 3, Steve King's Graveyard Shift, Body Parts with Jeff-A, all films I enjoy. Very underrated actor. This is a guy that deserves so much more. Bigger roles. You know, the type of roles that Dustin Hoffman or Al Pacino or other people got. Brad Dourif deserved some spotlight on that front. Of course, well before this, he did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which he did a solid job at. Catherine Hitch, who before this had done Star Trek 4. Very likable as the mom. That's one thing I can say that is done much better here than the remake. Because I like the remake. I like that it becomes sort of single white female with Chucky really liking Andy. I thought that was a nice different take on it. And I like the look of the film, the cinematography. I like the lead kid actor. And that it wasn't a carbon copy. It did its own thing. Whether you liked or disliked it, I like that it did its own thing. But the mom in that was the worst part. I did not like the mom. Here, the mom is nurturing, but she's not a pushover. She's very likable and tears for her son, but she's not bitchy, but then at the same time she is a strong character and type of mom that you would want. Chris Sarandon, who worked with Tom Holland on Fright Night, gets to be a good guy here, which is cool, because he was the bad guy in The Princess Bride and Fright Night, but he got to be the good guy as Mike Norris. So anytime I think of his character's name, I always think of, oh, it's Chuck Norris's brother. No, it's not. But Chris Sarandon, talented actor, very, like I said, likable cop that, you know, wondering about this kid, but at the same time, he's not stereotypical asshole. He's just a normal guy, just a job. That's the thing, bring a sense of normalcy to a crazy thing like a killer doll film. And the whole voodoo angle I'm mixed on. I mean, if you don't have to go, hey, we gotta come up with an idea where Charles Lee Ray, the name based on Charles Manson, Lee Harvey Oswald, and the Earl Ray, the guy who shot Martin Luther King. they took those, and that's Charles Lee Ray. And how he put him and the doll, okay, Voodoo. Alright. But then later on, when Chucky sees his mentor, and for some reason the guy has a fucking voodoo doll of him, why would you have a voodoo doll of yourself? Because Chucky literally says, you need to not show customers where you keep certain things. Why would you have that in the first place? What purpose would you have having a voodoo doll of your fucking self? To try to suck your own dick? Like, oh, that feels good. Like, why? And also, I guess he didn't learn how to make voodoo dolls, because otherwise I would go, why don't you use that to break Andy's legs or Chris Sarandon's legs? But I guess that guy made it. So then, like, why the fuck would you have a voodoo doll of yourself? What positive could that ever bring? It would only bring you fucking trouble. But I mean, it's well directed by Tom Holland. It goes by a fast pace. Apparently there was a 2-3 hour work print. Don't need to see it. I saw what some of the stuff was missing. Really nothing that interests me. I like that it goes by a fast pace, like an hour and 27 minutes or so. You're in, you're out. Like some of us like it. The score, I believe it's Joe Renzetti who did the score, who also did like Poltergeist 3, which this is a much better music than Poltergeist 3, but maybe Joe Renzetti's like, Poltergeist 3, what the fuck am I going to do? It's Poltergeist 3, I got nothing to work with. Here, the score fits the tone of the film fairly well. It's a darker score, and I especially like the music in the finale, in particular the end credits. Which I know if you find certain trailers, there was that song, hey, I am Chucky. I will be your very best friend. That was supposed to be the end credits song, but I didn't understand why you don't use that, because it would have disrupted the entire tone of the movie. I thought Kevin Yeager's work on Chucky looks fairly good for a film that came out in 1988. I think it got much better in Child's Play 2, but I thought it still looked fairly good in this. I really did. I thought, granted, when they switched to the little person in a suit, it's very obvious nowadays. Might have been obvious back then, but even more so nowadays. Other than the sequence where Chucky's on fire, which I can understand why you do that. Kudos for anyone who puts themselves on fire for a film. But when it's just Chucky, the animatronics and puppetry, cool. But when it cuts to, I'm sure they probably had more and they cut down on that. I can understand why. Again, once in a while it can work, like after Chucky has been burnt and there's a moment where Andy's crawling backwards and Chucky's stalking him like this when he's all burned up. That's effective. Like certain moments of that effective, but other times like, oh, that's a little guy in a suit. Little guy in a suit. Little guy in a Chucky suit. Little guy in a Chucky suit. Richard, what's happening? No, but so that's a little nitpick on certain scenes. Again, the whole voodoo, it did instill complications. I mean, I get why they did it, and not the fucking blood thing, which I didn't care for that idea. Sorry, Don Mancini, Fettuccine. But there's also complications, like a fucking chant that goes on for what feels like 18 minutes, especially in the finale. I'm like, if this chant was halfway worth of shit, it'd be done already. But this chant, you gotta go through the whole alphabet 5 times and do it backwards, or whatever the hell, on one foot, and the other hand is up your ass, and then the other hand smoking a cigarette, whatever. Also, like the voodoo dolls, like, why the fuck would the guy have a voodoo doll of himself? Just stupidity. With that said, let's say it goes by a fast pace. The characters are very likable. You really feel for the mom who wants to get a present for her son. The son, he's not whiny. He's not annoying. He's, oh, I wanted that present, but he's not pushing it to the point of irritation. And the mom say, oh, hey, I'm doing the best I can, but then she's not, not doing that either. It strikes a nice balance. Same with the tone. And the actors, they gotta make you believe that it's a fucking killer doll. And I thought Catherine Hicks, Alex Vincent, and Chris Sarandon did that. And Brad Dourif, perfect for the voice of Chucky. In a way, it was the role he was born to play, weirdly enough. It's not an entirely gory film. It's not a film that you see for the kills, because there are kills in it. One gets knocked out a window, one gets fried, which is probably the most violent one. To see some blood out of his eyes as well as his mouth and teeth. One guy gets himself blown up and the entire fucking building comes down. I'm glad they didn't go too far in the whole, oh, maybe Andy is the one who did it. Andy's the one killing people. I'm glad they didn't go that route. From the get-go, it's Chucky, because you have the whole thing, and then the entire fucking toy store blowing up. Some people do enjoy ambiguity, and yes, ambiguity can work well in certain circumstances. Other times, like Pinocchio's Revenge, which will be the commentary after this, it doesn't. Especially if you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. If you're trying to do both things, but then when you try to do both things, and then you try to make a resolution, well, that doesn't make sense if it's that, and then if it's this, well, that doesn't make sense, and that's the pitfalls you can fall into. Sometimes straightforward can be the way to go. And I think this, they don't go into too much into, well, this kid did it, because then it'd be questions like, come on, do you really think a 6-year-old, well, maybe they didn't, but all this stupid back and forth that, honestly, the movie doesn't need. So, no, quickly, you have the mom who wants to believe in her son, that she's yelling at the doll, but it's like, oh, what am I doing? And then you have that decently suspenseful scene where she finds the batteries, which I'm like, that's one flaw. That's bullshit. A company would not send you fucking batteries. I don't give a shit. They don't say batteries not included, which was a title that was going to be, but then Steven Spielberg stole it, because Steven Spielberg, that's an inside joke, Steven Spielberg was producing a movie with batteries not included, which I believe I reviewed on the channel. I don't know if it's still up, but I remember I don't mind that film. Again, I don't know if the review's still up, but I did review it at one point, batteries not included, the film. But I thought Child's Play is the better title. Same with Blood Buddy. No, Child's Play is the best title for it. It works. And yeah, some good action moments, like when Chucky's trying to kill Chris Sarandon, trying to stab him in the car, especially under his seat, trying to stab him in the balls. That's a fun sequence. You get some really nice car action sequences, well filmed. Real practical car, not CGI enhancements or other bullshit that a lot of movies would do nowadays. Like I said, it goes by a fast pace. You really feel for the kid. I always thought that ever since I saw this back in the day on VHS. Like, there's a kid who's just going through all this. He's accused of murder, pretty much, with a doctor who's a psychiatrist guy. Sees all these people die, including the guy get fried and blood come out of his eyes and teeth, his mouth and around his teeth, and then being stalked by Chucky. I'm like, this kid goes through a lot, and hell, you don't see a lot of that nowadays, let alone back then. So that made it a bit unique and definitely made you feel for the character, at least to me. And again, the actor did a good job. It ended. There was no sequel bait or bullshit ending. It ended. Granted, there's always you can do whatever you want and make a sequel, but it ended. Shooting through the heart. Before that, burning it the fuck up. Catherine Hicks shooting it to pieces. As I like the musical score at the end. I know this was a surprise hit for MGM United Artists, but then, oh, we can't have this subject material. Then they sold the rights to Universal, and then Universal made quite a penny. So MGM United Artists, you're fucking idiots. I would not be surprised if there's a story that someone got fucking fired for that foolhardy, foolish, fucking fool. You're a fool. Why the fuck would you sell the fucking... We have Child's Play. We have the makings of a new franchise of Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and you fucking sell it. Because we got standards. Your fucking standards, United Artists, which is part of it. You ever heard of Heaven's Gate with Michael Cimino? These are your fucking standards. So you lost out on a shitload of money. I guarantee you someone got fired for that. Sooner or later, someone got fired. If not fired, they got a fucking ton lashing. But yeah, Tom Holland did a great job. In the 90s, I can't remember many films Tom Holland did in the 90s. Thinner I was not a fan of. Did he do the Tommy Knocker? Not the Tommy Knockers. The Landoliers. Did he do the Landoliers? Can't remember. I can't remember what else Tom Holland has done since then, to be honest. Because, yeah, love Fright Night, love Child's Play. I like Fatal Beauty. He wrote Psycho 2. I liked that. He wrote Cloak and Dagger. I don't remember much about it. Except Henry Thomas from E.T.'s in it. But anyway, Child's Play, like I say, it holds up. Still a classic. You take a crazy concept like a Kill a Doll, you give it a nice aesthetic look and design. Great work by Kevin Yeager and his team for the time and the budget, 1988. A very capable cast. Tom Holland, I think he had his hand in the writing. I think he really shaped that better than if it was just Don Mancini by himself. I really do think Tom Holland has a big credit of that success goes to Tom Holland. I really do believe that. And you tell something was that when the first DVD, when the special DVD came out years and years and years ago, and no Tom Holland commentary and interviews, there was something up. Granted, you did that with the Blu-ray, Scream Factory, but the first initial DVD, I'm like, wait a minute, something's up. Why the fuck do you not have Tom Holland? He's willing to talk about the film. He's proud of the film. There's someone with a bug up their ass about something. Probably Don Mancini, who's butt boys with the big producer guy, whatever the fuck his name is. And they produce like the other 7 or whatever Chucky movies. Again, Child's Play 2 and 3 I liked. The rest sucked, in my opinion. And then you created a new franchise, new horror icon. That's what Chucky is. And people still remember it to this day. I was never scared of the movie, but I thought it was a very well done flick for the reasons I mentioned. So, Child's Play still holds up. But thank you guys for watching. Take care. Thank you once again, Jacob, for the request. Like I said, if anyone's ever interested in joining my Patreon or just requesting by itself directly to my PayPal, it could be a re-review or review or topic or whatever. Links are down below. If not, no worries. Stay tuned for more videos. Take care, and we will see you in the next one. Later.